Going on, everybody? Welcome back. TTB, Ravens Media. Ravens just lost to the New York Giants. I'm going to readjust myself so I don't look like I'm off to the side. That one was atrocious. That one is completely on Lamar Jackson. A lot of the time, I think with every loss this year, I've come out and I've come after coaches. I've come after other players. This one, when you look at this football game and you say what lost the Ravens this game, you look at Lamar Jackson, you look at the quarterback. Was everyone perfect outside of Lamar? No, it was not. We had drops. We had poor performances. I'm adding Joshua in here right now. But this one, when it all is said and done, Lamar Jackson, not once but twice, completely messes up. First time. Was it a poor snap? Yeah. Was it catchable? Absolutely. But Lamar Jackson picked up the ball on the ground, and this is not something that's new to Lamar Jackson. He tries to pick up that ball on the ground. He tries to make a play out of it. He can't do that. He needs to stop doing that. It's a problem that he's had his entire career. Look at the playoff game against the Buffalo Bills. It's exactly what he did. That's exactly what got him knocked out of that game with that concussion. He tried to pick up the ball and tried to make some crazy play. That's just not going to happen. More often than not, on a broken down play like that, throwing it up is going to result in an interception. He tried to do too much there. Throws the pick. The Giants are able to score. They get it back, and Lamar Jackson gets strip sacked. Now, in a lot of situations, the strip sack, I don't blame it on the quarterback. Sometimes, they can step up in the pocket. But Lamar Jackson has no ball security in that situation. He's holding it completely down at the ground, not close to his body. He's not ready to throw. He doesn't have a receiver open, so there's no reason to be holding the ball with one hand towards the ground. If you're going to run, tuck it in. If you're standing in the pocket, tuck it in. He's not doing that. The reason why quarterbacks do that is because if their arm gets hit, they want to be able to make sure they can hold on to the football. Lamar Jackson's not doing that. He gets hit. He fumbles the ball. That's the game. When the game came down to the line, Lamar Jackson was the one that couldn't execute. Did we miss Bateman? Yes, 100%. Without a doubt, we were missing Rashad Bateman. But come on, when you have a superstar quarterback, you can't blame, he didn't have the exact wide receivers he needed. Lamar was missing throws. Lamar Jackson went out there. He missed a throw to Mark Andrews for a touchdown. He missed multiple throws in situations that he shouldn't be missing throws. Check downs he missed. And that is one of the biggest problems that the Ravens had this game was Lamar Jackson couldn't execute. And when the game fell into his hands, he completely just handed it over to the other team. Completely handed it over. Now, I'm a Lamar fan. I'm not saying to get rid of him, but this one, I can't blame John Harbaugh. I thought it was completely idiotic that he decided to take the penalty in the first half when it was going to be 4th and 2. That made no sense. I thought that was horrible, but I'm not going to blame the game on a play that, a bad decision that I felt like was a bad decision early in the game when they were still winning. Joshua, what are you thinking about this game?
Needless to say, ain't too much to say about it. We deserve to lose. We deserve to lose. We played a giveaway. It's just one of those games that we played down to the competition. And we didn't play to the best of our ability. Like you were saying, man, there was a lot of times where it was a lot of passes that was very errant, that was overthrown and things of that nature. That's not usually Lamar's style. I don't know what the deal was today. I don't know if he's trying to, start playing bad so he can get out of his contract. Well, he'll be a free agent after the season over, but possibly get picked up by another team. But if that's the case, that's not helping them. And like you said, and I love Lamar Jackson too, but if you're a real fan of the game, if you love the sport, you have to sometimes be real about the guys that we like so much. And Lamar Jackson didn't play to the best of his ability today. We just got to keep it. We have to keep it honest. We can't blame Rashad Bateman because you have 5 other receivers on this team that has made it on this NFL roster that's suiting up for game day, so they are NFL ready. That one pass to Mark Andrews. I know, I think it was tipped a little bit, but at the same time, it was still a catchable ball. It bounced off Mark's shoulder. The Giants beat us. And it wasn't all Saquon. Daniel Jones was looking decent. They thought the running game was looking strong. The wide receivers, they was making plays. I do feel like that defensive pass interference was a BS call. They was fighting. They was in the end zone. They could have let that go. They let that.
That was pass interference. He
I
completely
mean,
gripped him. He turned him around.
my whole thing is they previously let that DeMarlo. They let DeMarlo, Darius Slayton. Let that fight go. I mean,
It
certain
wasn't
things
enough blood.
that it's certain things when in certain games where you go ahead you let the guys play it out. But I mean, it's cool. It's all right. But I mean, Lamar just got to come back next week and play harder. Who we got? The Bucks and the Saints right back to back Thursday and is it Thursday and Monday night, something like that?
I know we played the Bucks on Thursday. I don't know. I think the Saints isn't a primetime game, from what I remember. And I don't know what happened on that Adafe away penalty.
Yeah, that too. Nobody showed nothing of that.
Yeah, but it wasn't unnecessary roughness. It was
something between him and Breederson.
Yeah, and so it's just like, okay. And the thing is, Adolfe's been known to do that, so I'm not going to question it, them not showing it. But, this team, the penalties, obviously they were rough, and that comes down to discipline. The offensive line, struggled in this game. Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct. That's typically all on the field. And it's just something where, I felt like the Ravens defense, again, this Ravens defense, I love the way that they're playing. They're playing great football. They were forcing sacks, and the Ravens offense, they can't finish. They can't execute. That is a major problem with this team. We saw the first half sets was like, oh, the Ravens, 250 yards, Giants, 90 yards. Mm-hmm. But we're in a close game because the offense isn't executing. Lamar's not executing. Mark Andrews isn't executing. Greg Roman isn't executing. J.K. Dobbins isn't on the field getting an opportunity to exute. But I'm not going to complain about that. This game, Kenny Drake played fantastic. So, if they wanted to give it to the hot hand, they were doing that. But the wide receivers, they didn't do anything in this game. I mean, we hit Lamar. Lamar starts off that first drive, or not the first drive, the final drive, throws that slant to DeMarcus Robinson. He drops it. And again, it wasn't a great ball. It was low. It was a little bit behind him, but at the same time, that's still a catchable ball. Mark Andrews dropped some passes that you rarely see him drop, because he went out there. Again, you brought up the one in the end zone. That was a dart by Lamar. That was a great throw, And of course, when Lamar executes, he does his job. Mark Andrews doesn't do his, And that's something that it's so frustrating, because it's very obvious that announcers have no idea what they're talking about. I think Charles Davis is a garbage announcer. They're talking about it, and they're like, man, Mark Andrews is never a guy to drop a pass. And I'm like, okay, yes, Mark Andrews is arguably the best tight end in the NFL, but you watch the first 2 seasons of his career, you watch, a lot of Ravens games. Mark Andrews has drops. That was a major concern, is can this guy be our number one tight end with the drop problem that he has in games like against the Chiefs? We've had him have big drops. He's been a guy that's dropped passes. He's still very good. I still love Mark, but they're talking about him like he's never dropped a pass in his life. And it's like, no. He drops passes. He also makes difficult catches, so he makes up for it. But that's a pass he's got to catch. Lamar hit him where he was jumping up, should have caught it. Goes out of the hands again. Didn't have the hands today. Could not make those plays. The only guy that it seemed like had good hands was Josh Oliver. But the other thing about this game was they just, again, the execution. They held the Giants to, Daniel Jones had 173 passing yards. Saquon had 83 rushing yards. The defense did its job. And the defense is the thing that people talk about as, oh, the defense isn't good. We look at, every time the NFL analysts come on and they talk about the Ravens, they're like, man, Lamar Jackson's carrying this defense. The defense is what's putting them in positions where they should be winning, and the offense falls apart. And then eventually a team scores a touchdown, and it's a close game. And in this game, the defense played fantastic.
Right.
Lamar throws a pick on a horrible play that no quarterback should ever make that throw.
Yeah.
And I didn't even mention who he threw that ball to. Did you see who he threw the ball to?
Yeah, Yeah.
Project Pat. But it's just something where what was working in this game was across the middle tight ends. That completely went away. They stopped calling those plays. And Pepe was terrible. I don't think Pepe Williams was that bad. Pepe Williams made some great plays. He got a third down stop.
He was draped all over, dude. I mean,
yeah,
dude, about 6. What he's all 6'3"? They used the height advantage.
Defenses can't allow, we can't expect the defense. We can't expect the 2000 Ravens defense, even after giving up a 75-yard touchdown drive, right? That's 220 yards allowed in the game late in the fourth quarter. That's still great. That is great defense right there. There's no, I have no problem with that. We can't expect the greatest defense in the history of the NFL every single week. We get great defense. Again, we're holding teams to limited points, and then the offense falls apart. And when the offense falls apart, here's the thing that people need to understand, right? When the offense falls apart, the defense is on the field more. When they're on the field more, they get more tired. When they're more tired, they're going to allow more plays. So, in the 2000 Ravens, why were they able to be so good? Because when they got off the field, after getting a stop, we're pounding the rock, maintaining possession, and they were able to be rejuvenated. They got the juice back, and they were able to play great defense when they got back.
Exactly.
Games like this, they go out there, and it's like, okay, do your thing, except we keep having to punt the ball really quickly because we're not getting any yards and we're not executing. So you're basically out there for most of the second half. And then they end up scoring that touchdown. It's like, okay, they just allowed a major drive. They need some rest. Third down, Lamar Jackson throws an interception. You're like, go back out there, get another stop. It's like, okay, they hold them. They eventually allow the score, and it's like, okay. You can't expect the defense to just be out there all the time because the offense is failing to execute. I don't think a defense is the problem with this team. Yeah, they allow plays. Every defense allows plays. They're doing their job. They should have been in those situations. The Ravens offense is falling apart. Lamar Jackson is falling apart, and that's the problem with this team. And yet the analysts are going to be like, oh, well, the Ravens allowed. Probably not after this game because Lamar had 2 turnovers in the end. But the Ravens allowed the offense fell apart. And that's on Lamar. And he was missing throws. I don't want to blame it on Greg Roman. I don't think Greg Roman called a great game. But at the same time, I didn't think it was the worst game I've seen him call.
Yeah, because I don't know if you heard, but on that 3rd and 8 when it came to the option play, supposedly Lamar Jackson audible into that option run. If that's true, I don't know what to say. Because
then there's more on Lamar. I was calling out coaching. I was like, why are you calling that play?
Because if that's true, it will now change the narrative of how things really been going for the past 4 years with Lamar Jackson at the helm. Lamar's still my quarterback. No, I mean, of course, Joe, we definitely still listen. When we're up, we do not put in plays in order for us to win. We run to sustain the lead. Now, if we get a first down there, it seems like for the Ravens it's okay. But it's never dialed up for us to continue getting points. I said it before, in order to win, all gas, no brakes. Hit a little bit of the gas. Obviously, we was out there rocking out with maybe a quarter of a tank of gas because we didn't finish how we should have.
Young Lloyd, I think the refs called a great game today. What do you mean refs never on our side? The refs kind of were on our side because they gave us the clock ran out on the Ravens and they gave us the play. That was the only bad call I feel like was made in the game. I don't think I noticed anything that I was frustrated. I watched that Marcus Peters interception. I was like, when are they throwing the flag? You turn them around like that, you're not getting it. And what's so annoying about it is Marcus Peters would have gotten that pick without that flag. Like if he hadn't like held him, because it was a horrible throw. And it was thrown to Marcus Peters. The flag, it was probably closer to defensive holding maybe, but the ball was probably in the air. So like I don't understand what they called it unsportsmanlike. We don't know what it was.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing that was questionable for me because we didn't see. Usually when they call the 15 yards and stuff like that, they usually replay it and show us what exactly happened, and they just let it rock and kept it on moving. But I mean,
the thing that they did show, it did not look like Adafe was really mad. Like he was just kind of looking around. Like sometimes when you get on sportsmanlike called and it's like a bad call, the player's like, "What?" And they start yelling at the ref, and the coach is yelling. We didn't see
AJ Klein.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, and the pick by Lamar, that's something that he's always done. Like the thing is, like that's not something where it's like, why did he do that? It's like I was seeing him and I was like, he's going to try and throw this up, and he has made those plays. And sometimes I can think of two situations I think where that kind of just horrible play works. He did it against the Chargers one year. He threw it up. I think Willie Snead caught it, and it was just like a horrible off the back foot. And last week or 2 weeks ago, against the Bills, what did we see when he threw it up and it got tipped and Devin Duvernay was able to catch it? That's a bad throw. That's a bad play by Lamar Jackson where he's just trying to do too much and throw it up. It ends up working out, but he's got it. Like I remember watching that and be like, what are you doing? And it works out, but at the same time, it's like, it's not going to consistently work.
Right.
Those types of plays, those types of just shucking it up plays are not going to consistently work. He needs to understand the situation and go, you know what? My defense is playing a damn good football game right now. If I throw this ball away, we can punt. Because there's no way that a player's catching that ball. Now, if he threw that ball up 55 yards down the field, he basically threw a jump ball Hail Mary to, a Mark Andrews I'm like, okay, whatever. But he threw that and it was like maybe 10 yards past the line of scrimmage, which is not the type of jump ball that you want to throw on a third down with the game on the line. Isn't off the back foot. Broken play throw. Yeah, especially to Patrick Ricard. It makes no sense. And it's just something where it's like, he's got to understand that. Obviously, Ravens were missing Bateman today. That would have really helped in terms of getting players open. But the Ravens had guys open. Lamar wasn't hitting them. And when he was hitting them, they were dropping it. So it's just poor execution. Lamar Jackson was the one that just, like, at the end of the game. Again, we talked about this last week. We talked about this at the Bills. If you have a situation where you can put your quarterback, your superstar quarterback, hey, you got to drive, you can win the game. You need to be a team that says, yeah, we want to take that. And I think the Ravens are a team. Hey, Lamar Jackson's going to get the ball with 2 minutes left with 3 timeouts to win this game, tied. Yeah. You're going to expect you're going to win that football game. And instead, he made 2 mistakes. Actually, it was you have the ball with 5 minutes left, up by 3. Why don't you end this game? And you should have full confidence. If you tell the Ravens, hey, you're getting the ball with 5 minutes left, up by 3, Lamar Jackson has the ball in his hands, you're expecting a win. Then he throws the pick, and it's like, okay, you're down by 4 with 2 minutes left.
I trust you to get a touchdown. I trust you with 145 to get a touchdown. But it started with the pass, and Demarcus Robinson dropped it. And I knew that when the line was collapsing, I said, this can go one of 2 ways. Either he breaks out and make something shake, or Kayvon Thibodeau. Shout out to Kayvon. shout out to Kayvon because that's the guy that we really wanted. You know, he looked pretty good out there. Don't you think, McConnell? Uh, he came in the clutch. He came in the clutch for his team and got the strip sack.
Yep. I don't know who got beat for the fumble, but the problem is that fumble's on Lamar.
It was the whole damn team that got beat.
Yeah, like the problem is if Lamar Jackson's holding that ball close to his body and he gets strip sacked, it's like okay, fine. But Lamar Jackson's holding that ball at his knees. Great play in the Chiefs game, great tackle, but just there's no way that he's going to be able to hold on to the football.
Yeah.
That's quarterback in 101. You got to hold on to the football when you're in the pocket. You keep that ball close to your body, especially like Lamar's stepping up there. You don't step up with the ball held out. Tom Brady does like the reason why guys like Tom Brady are so good is because his throwing motion, right? It starts here. And then he goes back and he throws it, right? So when he's in the pocket, he's holding that ball right here. Lamar Jackson, when he starts to run, he doesn't run with it tucked. He runs with it down low like Michael Vick, like
he cradles.
Yeah, and so the LaShawn McCoy types. That's not what you're supposed to do. You got to keep that ball close to your body. And I understand that Lamar Jackson, he likes to throw those, while he's running. He can get it, and do the sidearm when he's holding it down low like that.
Mm-hmm.
But with the game on the line, you don't want to have any opportunity to fumble. And we have seen a lot of times in Lamar Jackson's career with the game on the line, him fumbling. We've seen it. Like, it's probably at least 3 times where he has been strip sacked because he's holding the ball loosely at the end of the game. I can think of 2 this week and playoff game against the Chargers. He got strip sacked at the end of that game. Mm-hmm. I think that one he may have been going back for a throw, though, so it's less on him. That's just, a great play by the defender. But this game, the problem is he wasn't going for a throw. He wasn't winding up. He was just stepping up in the pocket with the ball down low. If you're going to step up and, if you're going to try and run, tuck it into your arm, tuck that into your body to run. And if you're going to try and throw, tuck it up here so you can keep that, throwing stance, throwing motion, ready to go as quick as possible. Because Lamar has a quick release. That's not a problem for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, man. I mean, only thing we can do, get back to the drawing board, get ready for another great running tandem. We play Cleveland, then we got the Bucks.
Okay.
New Orleans is a night game. It's 8:15.
Yeah. On a Sunday or Monday?
I think I got to double check, but it might be Sunday.
It may be yeah.
We got to double check. But we just got to get back to the drawing board. We got an AFC North division game, and gotta get ready for that one. And just keep it moving. They want to make it to the playoffs. They got to do something better. I guess I'll take these woes early. Hopefully, these mistakes, these mishaps doesn't continue on to the later part of the season, because the later part of the season, not saying like, it's so much stronger, but we had to play perfect if we want to see ourselves in playoff contention and then next season of football, which is the playoffs.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I'm just looking at this and it's just like, all right, we got to get them, these Ravens healthy, these wide receivers healthy, but it's not the one thing that I can take from the run defense looked good. I understand, I understand Saquon got that big run at the end, but again, that defense was so tired. They'd been on the field for so long, because when the offense stops working, the defense stops working too. That's how momentum works. That's how just energy works. When you're not having longer rests, you're going to be more tired. When you're more tired, you're going to give up more yards. And they got tired because the Ravens offense kept punting. The Ravens offense kept not doing its work.
Yep. Definitely agree with you.
But all right, everyone. I think that's probably going to end it here. Rough loss. We'll get back. I'm excited to hear from the coaches and hear about everything. But again, this is a problem the Ravens have had. This is a problem that they have had all year.
the offense is falling apart and blowing leads, and the defense is playing. Obviously, first few weeks the defense did struggle, but the last 3 weeks I've been very happy with the Ravens defense. Very happy. The offense has hurt the Ravens defense and not the other way around. But Joshua, do you have anything final to say?
Man, outside of the Ravens, make sure y'all follow us on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Turn on your notifications when we drop. We need all the love. We love up, and we need all the support. So we constantly thank you for coming through the stream. Talking to us all the time, man. We do this for y'all. So y'all have a good week. Have a good week. Do not let this loss mess up y'all week. We will be back in action next Sunday, y'all. Y'all stay good. Stay safe.